Hey there, Heather Boyd here, and today I want to wish a big happy birthday to my friend Amber. Now, Amber and I do a lot of painting together, and I bought her this awesome book by an artist that I found on YouTube, and it's a really cool book. It's called Watercolor for Relaxation. It's by Angelica Torres, and I will link up below her YouTube channel and where you can buy the book. And there's all kinds of beautiful projects with step-by-step instructions. So I will link up the tutorials that I'm demonstrating in the video and show you some pieces that I did from the book. So I got Amber some supplies that I hope she doesn't already have. One is this really cool palette. This is the kind that I have that I put my paint tube paints in. So it has all kinds of sections for the paint from the tubes, and I got her a set that has most of the colors that she's going to need for the tutorials in the book. I got her a little extra tube too of the Payne's Gray. I use Payne's Gray all the time with my watercolors. I got her a bunch of brushes, and then also these really interesting filbert brushes that are like the curved brush that I'd never tried before. So these are really cool. They come in all kinds of different sizes. All the materials you need are listed in the book. And then also this dagger brush. That's really neat. I've never seen this one before either. Here is my very loved palette that I've been using for years. So happy birthday, Amber. Have fun with the book. I can't wait to see what you create. From the instructions in the book, I painted some super cute little bumblebees and also this really funky cityscape with the sunset. And I'm going to do a little demo for the dragonflies that are also in the book. And there's a tutorial that I'll link up below. So basically, you're just going to use your round brush to form the wings, pushing from the outside in. I'm just using some yellow. You can turn your paper, and we're going to push and lift to make a nice shape of the wings. From there, we can add a little bit of orange, get a slightly darker color, and you want to work while it's still wet. We're going to add some orange for a little bit of depth and a little bit of interest, so it's not one flat color. If you have too much water, you can dab a little bit off with some paper towel. And we just want it to look nice and blendy. Blend the yellow and the orange together. And you can lift off some of the color if you have too much. Just dry your brush and lift off a little bit of the color. Got a little too much there, so we're going to lift it up a little bit. Smooth it out. The watercolor is pretty forgiving. You can just blend it as you go. Be sure you're using a good quality paper. I'm using 140-pound cold press paper. I also like the hot press paper, which is more smooth, but this is fun just for doing some exercises and playing around with the paint. So we're going to use a thinner brush to add the orange in there. It's always good to have a variety of brushes, and in the book, all the brushes and materials you need are listed in detail. So now we're going to do the body. I'm using a bit of Payne's Gray for this one. Payne's Gray is actually one of my favorite colors when doing watercolor. I use it a lot. You can grab a little bit more pigment to make it darker. We want to form the head at the top as well. So we're just going to make it a little bit larger and darker at the top. And I'm just going to get a fine brush to do what look like the eyes of the dragonfly. Just try to get two little circles there that are more or less the same size. And then you can add color to the wings as you wish. You can use different colors too if you like. It's really fun to experiment. You can get a finer brush to add some more of the details. It's always handy to have a liner brush as well. And then I'm just doing what looks like the little veins in the leaf. You can also do this with a color pencil once it's dry, or a watercolor pencil if you want to get the fine details. The brush I had was a little bit on the thick side. Try not to get too much paint on it when you're doing this step. So now I'm going to play around doing more wings. You push and lift to make the wings. This is a fun technique for various things. Push and lift. And same on the other side. Just push down and lift. Kind of reminds me of toll painting with acrylic paints. And now we can add some more of the orange, just to bleed the orange color in with the yellow. Don't worry about the wings all being the same. Nothing is perfect in nature. And in art, it's always more interesting if things have some variety to them. Now you can lift off the color if you have too much. And then again, we're going to form the body. So push and lift at the bottom of the tail. And then you can add the eyes as well. So now after it dried, I decided to do the veins with a color pencil. So this is a great option to do some more fine detail. Often with that watercolor too, I'll go in with some micro pens if I want some fine black lines, but this time I just wanted to go in with a dark orange to create some very subtle veins in the wings. Just take your time with adding the details, and remember, all the wings don't have to be the same. You can just improvise with how you want to do the lines. You can also look at a photo on Google of a dragonfly if you want a little bit more reference for how the wings look. I really like the way it turned out with the color pencil. It's very subtle, but it really makes a difference to have a little bit of detail in the wings. You could do the same with the body too if you wanted to add some details in the body. The sky is the limit with this project.